Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all safe, and I hope you all enjoyed the international break. It was rather a boring time for us FPL managers, but I'm so glad that FPL is back and we are back to talking what we enjoy, my friends. I welcome you all to the live stream. Welcome Zodiac, Yash, Caleb, FPL Sum, Juggernaut. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. Let's get started, guys. And I think the best place to start is the horrendous international break that happened, my friends. It was horrendous, isn't it? So many injuries, so many coronavirus problems, so many injuries. It was rather taxing for the FPL managers to go through this international break, and every day somebody was getting injured or getting detected with coronavirus. It was uh, it was crazy, but we are here to kind of wrap it all up and discuss which players have the possibility to start and which don't. I haven't made any transfers to my team since I was waiting till the last minute for any news about injury, about any coronavirus issues. So my team looks absolutely the same as it looked last week when I streamed after the game week. So nothing new to discuss there. Zod says so many flags. Absolutely, it was crazy. Every day we heard news that Chilwell was injured, and then Salah got coronavirus. Then we heard news about El Nani and all. There's so many things to discuss, guys. So not wasting time. Excuse me. Pai says welcome, Wiz. Pura says long time. Saleh says Zayed or Bruno Fernandes at the moment best replacement for Salah. I think. What do you think? Yeah, I guess that's the most important thing that we are going to discuss on this stream is what to do with Mo Salah. Yeah. Danford says Dan. Yash says they should have honestly scrapped the international friendlies. Actually, I was surprised that the players didn't speak out about it. But in my opinion, they just don't scrap the international games because they've got financial commitments and stuff. And today's world is all about commerce, about money and everything, guys. So I'm not sure if they really care about their players. All they care about is their financial commitments and the fine that they'll have to pay the TV companies for the broadcast rights if they are not able to hold the internationals. It's sad, but that's the truth of today's world, my friends. Pura says no more breaks for 4 months, and that's amazing. I'm so happy that we won't have to face another international break for a long time. Alrighty, so I have a few questions already, and Faiz says, should I replace McGinn with Jota? In my opinion, no. I think McGinn is a fantastic option, and they have wonderful fixtures. If I had McGinn, I would definitely keep him. Lewis says, are any info on City and Wolves lineup size Foden playing? Caleb says, it hurts me to even think about removing Salah as a Liverpool fan, but it has to be done. Yeah, that's true, my friend. We're gonna talk about it in detail. I'm just gonna show you the list that I've made about the players, and that will update you all about the injuries, about the COVID situation and everything. And if you want any information about any player, I'm right here. I'm going to search and I'm going to give you any updated information that you want. So when you leave this stream tonight, guys, at least you'll have all the information to make an informed decision. Buckshot says, hi Wiz. Hey George, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Trailer says, would you replace Salah with Jota? That's a difficult one, my friend. If I had to do it, Jota in his own right is a wonderful FPL option, right? But to replace Salah with Jota, I'm not sure. I wouldn't do it. I think there are better options for this game week, because Salah is a short-term problem, right? He's not a long-term problem. If Salah was out for 6 months, I'd say get Jota in. But Salah is out for a couple of weeks or maybe 1 week, so I wouldn't do that. Ahmed says Cancelo or Van Aanholt. Out of these two, definitely Cancelo, my friend. Faiz says, why replace Salah for 1 week doesn't make sense. That's true, Faiz. I understand what you mean. James says, when are you wildcarding? I'm going to wildcard possibly. I have to see the situation with all these injuries happening. I was thinking about wildcarding this week itself, right? During the international break with all these injuries. But I thought that it is not the right time, and I won't be able to pick my ideal team because I'll have to kind of compensate and compromise with the injuries. So I kind of stalled it. But I might do it soon if I feel that the situation is getting worse and worse with the injuries and stuff. If not, if my team is doing well, then possibly before the double game week, that's when I'm going to wildcard. Um, Mohammed Allah says Bruno the best captain for this game week. I mean, yeah, he's one of the best options. The best, possibly we can say he is the best, but yeah, definitely one of the top options, my friend. Saleh says, bro, I need a player for 10.5. I have Ziyech, Bruno, Kane. Should I go for Werner? Maybe double up on Chelsea. We're gonna talk about Werner, Saleh. So give me a time. Give me some time. Peter says I'm late. No issues, Peter. We're just getting started, my friend. So before we talk about any issues, before we talk about my team, guys, I want to show you this. This is a list that I made. This is, I mean, I went through all the injury news and everything, and I made this list exclusively for you guys to see and read. And this is an update for all of you. Whichever player you want, I mean, if a player is not mentioned in this list, give me his name, and I'll try to give you his update because I have a pretty long list of injuries and fitness and stuff. So yeah, trailer says, will you go with Son and Kane? Well, I didn't want to go with Son and Kane, my friend, but unfortunately, I think I'll have to because there's another problem in my team, right? Peter says, who else is going to clench when Bruno has the ball? I think so many people are going to captain Bruno Fernandes this game week. It's going to be a horror show if you don't own him. All right, so let me take you through the injuries and fitness, and then I'm going to come back and answer your questions. So first of all, Salah, the most important and the biggest problem in everybody's team is Mo Salah at the moment, right? So there wasn't anything definitive about Mo Salah in Klopp's press conference. We already know that he has COVID and he has tested positive for the second time, and then he flew to England on a private jet. So he's in England right now, and he still is positive for COVID. So as long as Salah doesn't test negative for COVID, we cannot say when he's going to be back categorically, right? So the rule says as soon as he's tested negative for COVID, after that I think he has around 10 days. If I'm not wrong, but that's what I read about. So have around 10 days to before he can feature again. So in my opinion, Klopp seemed to be very positive about Salah because it's not that he's being hospitalized or anything. He's fine. He doesn't have any symptoms. It's just that he's positive for COVID, right? So maybe, guys, maybe Salah can be back for Brighton in game week 10. But there is also a slight possibility and a risk that Salah might not be back in game week 10. It is not due to his fitness or maybe his COVID, but due to the protocol, right? So if you ask me, I think Salah can miss. It's a 50-50. Definitely missing game week 9, 50-50 to miss game week 10, right? So in my opinion, there's a kind of risk involved in keeping Salah at the moment, right? And if you don't have other problems in your team and your team looks good, you can possibly move on Salah and get him back again. Alexander Arnold is going to miss game week 9 definitely, and possibly game week 10 as well. So Trent Alexander Arnold is going to be back in game week 11. Yash says Klopp did a press conference today. Yes, he did a press conference, my friend, but he didn't exclusively say. Klopp cannot say when Salah is going to play again because it depends on his test coming negative, right? Everything starts after that. So yeah, Aguero is likely to be fit for game week 9, my friends, and that's great news because Manchester City have upcoming. Really good fixtures upcoming, so Aguero fit is good news, but not maybe for game week 9 because I'm not sure if he's going to be match fit, and I think Jesus is going to start ahead of Aguero. Sterling, I think, is going to be fit for game week 9. From the comments by Mourinho and the comments by Pep suggest that Sterling is going to be fine. Chilwell, I think many of us own him. I think he was on the bench for the game for the England game. So I think he was fit. If he wasn't fit, then Southgate wouldn't have put him on the bench. So in my opinion, I think Chilwell is fit, and Lampard said so as well. But he hadn't had any chance to see him in training or anything like that, so he wasn't sure what's going to happen with Chilwell. But categorically, I think Lampard said that Chilwell was going to be fine. Rashford, he's already in training. He had a slight shoulder problem, but I think Rashford is gonna be fine. Michael Antonio, I think a lot of us wanted to target these fixtures of West Ham United after game week 8, but unfortunately, Antonio got injured. From the press conference of David Moyes, it seems that Michael Antonio is very close to fitness and he could feature, but it's a 50-50. So I would avoid Michael Antonio for game week 9, and after that, I think he's going to be fine to start. Many of you own Callum Wilson. I mean, the most queries I had about during this week were about Callum Wilson, and it was strange. Apart from Salah, of course. So Callum Wilson has a chance to start, as stated by Steve Bruce. Ryan Fraser is out definitely, but he says that Callum Wilson has a chance. He suffered from a slight hamstring strain, right? So it wasn't anything major. And if he says he has a chance, then I think Wilson could start in game week 9. So if I had Wilson, I'd probably keep him. If I didn't have him, I won't probably buy him. So yeah. Ward-Prowse, if somebody of you own Ward-Prowse, he's training, he's fit. Even Ryan Bertrand is fit again. So those are the two Southampton players. I would be a little bit concerned if I owned somebody like Armstrong, because he wasn't still back from international duty till late. And I mean, his manager didn't say anything categorical about Stuart Armstrong and Westergaard and a couple of others, but James Ward-Prowse and Ryan Bertrand should be fit to start. Charlie Taylor, if any of you own him, like I do, Charlie Taylor is currently flagged on the FPL game, but Sean Dyche says that he's gonna be fine and he's gonna be fit for game week 9, so no problems there. If any of you own Pulisic, I don't know why you do, but if you do, then he's going to be out for game week 9 and even possibly game week 10. So if you own Pulisic, I think it might be a good time to sell him. Now, the next one is very interesting, not for the Ait Nouri owners, but also for Sai's owners, because Ait Nouri was released from international duty due to an abductor injury. And as Nuno, is never clear in his press conferences, he didn't say anything about Ait Nouri. So if you have Sai's, I would be tempted to hold for this game week. He might start in this game week, right? If Ait Nouri is not fit, then and Kilman, unfortunately, he lost his father, and I'm not sure if he's going to be playing or not. But I think Sai's, and unfortunately, I hope his father rests in peace. And it's very unfortunate since Kilman is very young, and nobody should lose their parents at this age. But so he won't be featuring Kilman, and Ait Nouri, if he's injured, then I think Roman Sai's has a good chance to start. So if you own him, you might as well keep him for one more week. So yeah. And then at the bottom, guys, I have made a list of the players which I think, or I'm sure, are not going to start in game week 9. So I think Kai Havertz is not going to start in game week 9. The reason being, he was positive for COVID, then he tested negative, but he didn't go for the international break. And after that, he's just been training individually. He's been training alone. And I think he lacks match sharpness, and I don't think he's going to be fit for game week 9. Thiago Silva, he came back late from the international duty, and before the Champions League game, categorically, Lampard said that he was going to be rested. There's nothing wrong with him. He's not injured. He's not COVID positive, but I think he's going to be rested. Elneny obviously has COVID. Kolasinac has COVID. Yarmolenko has COVID. Lamela, I think Lamela is out for game week 9 as well, but we don't own him in FPL, so that's not a big concern there. He's going to be out till game week 10. Fraser is going to be out, as said by his manager Steve Bruce. Ake had a hamstring injury on international duty, so Ake is going to be out as well. And as Pep said, Fernandinho has some kind of a stomach problem, and he's going to be out as well. So these are the ones that I thought were important. Another one which somebody might have a doubt about is Timo Werner. I mean, categorically, I could not find anything whether Timo Werner is injured or not injured, but maybe COVID positive or he has some problem, whether he's going to start or not, because Lampard didn't say anything clear in his press conference. So if you guys have any information about Timo Werner, please let me know. One of our moderators, Peter Cruz, he was kind enough to show me a news in which it says that Timo Werner could be a doubt for game week 9. But these news outlets, sometimes they just make up news for hits. So as long as we are not sure, we can't possibly say whether he's going to be available or not. But other than Timo Werner, I think all the other news that I have managed to gather is accurate, fairly accurate. I've used a lot of websites to gather this information. If I haven't covered any player, my friends, just let me know, and I'll look them up for you and I'll let you know. But in my opinion, these were the most important FPL players that that I had to cover, and I thought I should cover. So yeah, FPL Sam says, "Don't scare me. Timo Werner is my captain." Yeah, I don't want to scare anybody up. Actually, yes, some. But the thing is, I couldn't find any information about. Werner. Actually, I was not even thinking about Werner. But then Peter Cruz on our Discord channel, he told me that what about Werner? And I said, what about Werner? And then I started searching, and I saw varying news about Timo Werner. So nothing categorically saying that he's not going to start or he's going to start, but there is a slight problem there. It might be due to his late arrival or something like that. So we need to be careful about the situation. All right. So Peter says he did miss training. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. He did miss one training session because he came late, and that I'm sure about. Lewis Martin says Crystal Palace fixtures look promising, and Zaha looks informed. Do you think he's worth consideration? Lewis, I think he could be considered, especially because Milivojevic is currently out with COVID, and I think Zaha could be on penalties for the duration in which Milivojevic is out. So I think, yeah, he can be considered, right? But in my opinion, Grealish is a better option, as Yash says. Saleh says, what about James and Richarlison? James, I think he means James. So James is fit. He said, Ancelotti said James Rodriguez was tired, but he said he was fit. And Richarlison is fine. He was just suspended and he had a slight ankle problem, but I think he's going to be fine for game week 9 against Fulham. Great fixture for Richarlison owners. Caleb says, I want to bring in Ziyech for Salah, but at the same time, I don't want to. What do I do with it? I mean, don't we all? It's kind of a very strange situation for us owners who own Salah. But in my opinion, guys, if you don't have any other problems in your team, I think you can move on Salah, because we're not. If categorically Klopp said he's going to be back for game week 10, then we had a decision on our hands, right? Whether to bench him for one game week or not. But now we're not even sure if he's going to be available for game week 10, right? So there could be a problem there. So in my opinion, it could. It could escalate, and there's so much value attached with Salah. So in my opinion, if I didn't have other problems in my team, I would possibly consider selling Salah. So Lucas says Grealish or James for captain this game week. I think both are great options, Lucas, and it's very hard to choose one of them. But if I had to choose one, I'd possibly go for Grealish. But I think they're both fantastic options. And since there is no one clear captaincy option with Salah down with COVID, possibly Bruno Fernandes is the one which everybody will go for, and I think that's the logical option. But this game week, I think Grealish, James Rodriguez, I mean, they're great differential options for captaincy. Yash says, is Calvert-Lewin a contender against Fulham? I think he is. I mean, it's very hard to say whether he's going to haul or not, because Everton have not been in the best of form. They lost the last couple of games. But definitely, I mean, he's been taking over nicely, and if you want, you can go with him. Dan says, can I say my team and you can give me your opinion? Dan, sure, go ahead, my friend. Saleh says, who are you thinking of captaining, bro? Will Bamford be good versus Arsenal? I think Bamford is fine against any team. The way Leeds play, they are going to score against any team and every team. So no problem there. I think if you have Bamford, I keep him. All right, guys. So if you've read all this fitness updates, please let me know so I can change back to my team and we can discuss my team and my transfers. So please let me know if you want to read further. If you want me to put this on the screen, I'll let it be. But if not, then I'll go back to my previous screen and we can talk about my team and the transfers. All right, Saleh says I took a screenshot. That's fantastic, my friend. So I hope it helps you guys. See, again, I would just like to say that you know I've tried my best to gather this information. No means is this final and definite and categorical. I've just tried my best to accumulate information to make it easy for you, friends. So FPL Sam says Werner is fine. He's in the latest training picks. Thank God. Right. So that's the the smoke cleared over Werner. So Werner is fine. He's gonna be fine for game week 9, guys. So all of you who have him, breathe easy. Breathe easy, my friends. All right. So everybody says change it. I guess there you go. Let's go back to my page. Alrighty. Saleh says for future use. All right. Trailer says thanks for the updates. You're welcome, my friend. Yash says thanks for the update. You're all welcome, my friends. That's what we were here for, and I wanted, because there was lots of players with doubts, and I wanted to clear the doubt. So that's why I kind of wanted to give you this information. Alrighty, guys. So let me discuss about my own team a little bit, and then we can go back to taking your questions. So here's my team, right? The thing is, guys, my normal transfer, if like Salah wasn't positive for COVID, and even if Trent Alexander-Arnold was injured, my normal transfer this week would have been this. I would have kept Trent Alexander-Arnold, although it might seem like crazy to you guys that I'm keeping Trent Alexander-Arnold, or I would have kept Trent Alexander-Arnold. This would have been my move, and this would have given me a fantastic team for game week 9 and something to build on, because I'm not concerned with team value at the moment. I'm more concerned with with points and how to plan for the future game weeks, and I think this was a fantastic move. In this way, I would have got rid of a player who had 3 difficult fixtures against Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal. It was the logical move for my team. But the thing is, it wasn't to be, and Salah's COVID positive, and Alexander-Arnold is obviously injured and out for more than 2 weeks. So now what I'm thinking is, again, I'm thinking of moving Salah to Fernandes, and I am very, very tempted to take out Trent Alexander-Arnold and replace him with somebody. But the thing is, the player who I want to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold with, they all have difficult fixtures this game week. For example, the players that I'm looking at is somebody like Castan. He has 3 amazing games coming up, even 4, including Everton, right? Fulham, Brighton, Sheffield, Everton, and he is fit. His manager, Brendan Rodgers, categorically stated that he was fit to start. Even Ricardo Pereira is fit, but he's going to play for the under-23s or the reserves for gaining fitness. So this is amazing run of fixtures. But if I want to get Castan in, this is not the ideal game week to get him in, right? So no Castan for this game week. And the second one, which I want to consider in place of Trent Alexander-Arnold, is to get somebody like Cancelo. So if I get Cancelo, the thing is, even he has a very difficult fixture in this game week, and for a hit, this just doesn't look right to me. This just doesn't sound right to me. So currently, my excuse me, guys. Let me have a drink of water, please. I've been just talking too much. Alrighty. So in my opinion, I wanted to get in Cancelo, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is, I know there's a value associated with this team, and team value is important in this game. But in my opinion, I wouldn't get in Cancelo this week because he has a difficult fixture, and I expect Spurs to score against Manchester City. Even if they score one, even if they lose the game, I don't want to bring in a defender against a team who I'm playing Son and Kane. So it's just a wrong transfer to make, in my opinion. And any other defender I don't want to consider, possibly Cresswell, but that can wait because Cresswell doesn't even have the easiest fixture. I think Sheffield has a possibility to score against West Ham, possibly, right? Cresswell can be an option, right? But for a hit, it just doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't feel right to me for a hit. So, I'm still. This is my current plan, guys, and of course, see, this can change. Over till yesterday, because by the time I live stream for my deadline stream tomorrow, guys, that can change. I mean, I was thinking about Harry Maguire, I was thinking about Telles as well, of Manchester United, because Luke Shaw is out with a hamstring injury. So there's a lot of players that I've been considering. It's not that I have been but the thing is, I prefer to get somebody like Castan, because I think Leicester is going to be solid defensively against teams like that. They are like amazing fixtures from game week 10, at least the next three: Fulham, Sheffield, Brighton, Everton. I want to get somebody like Castan. I want to attack the fixtures. I just don't want to make a transfer just because Trent Alexander-Arnold is falling in value and I'm losing team value, and that's a big issue in FPL. Of course, I agree with that, but I don't want to be forced to making a transfer. So yeah, this is my current plan, guys. I'm not sure if you like it or not, but I just don't. For me, guys, in my opinion, team value is less important than future planning. I think planning for the future in FPL is more important than team value. Although, in my opinion, team value is a very important metric, but it should not govern your transfers, especially in the season where there have been so many like halts and injuries and COVID. So in my opinion, I've been taking hits on my value, but I've tried to play for the future. So yeah, let me read the comments now. Nick says, Cancelo will be a good option if Mendy doesn't take his place. I think Mendy is not going to be fit anytime soon, and Cancelo is playing really well. I don't think he's going to drop him. Caleb says, Wizard, you could bring in a West Ham defender and free up some money for attack or midfield. Yeah, that's an option. I thought about Cresswell long and hard, and I think Cresswell is a player that I might want to get in soon. But do I want to get him in this game week for a hit? I just doesn't sound right to me, in my opinion, my friend. Just not sounding right. Saleh says Target is a good option. I've already had Martinez. I just don't want to double up on their defense, my friend. Jonathan says, hi Wiz. Hey Jonathan, welcome to the live stream, my friend. ITX says, sup Wiz. Hey, what's up, my friend? Lewis says, no point in changing Trent Alexander-Arnold this game week for a hit. I think so, in my opinion. Lewis Martin says, points are greater than value, and I agree with that. I absolutely think, value should not be the thing that dictates your transfers. If you're somebody who plays for team value and you want to appear on the FPL page for the highest team value, good luck to you. That's fair enough, and that's fine. Some people play the game for that, but we play the game for gaining the rank, and that's what I'm focusing on, guys. So excuse me. Luis says, if I would take a hit with your team, it would be to change Kane or Son, but if you bring Fernandes, you already have a captaincy option, so you're good. Absolutely, Luis, that was my thinking, and you're right. I agree with you. Because I have Bruno Fernandes, and I have a good captaincy option. Guys, remember, if your captain does well, you have a good game week. It's as simple as that. Or you can say that you don't have a bad game week. If your captain does well, you don't have a bad game week, right? So if I have a good captaincy option in Bruno Fernandes, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with Bruno Fernandes. Caleb says, best replacement for Salah, possibly long term. Caleb, I think in my opinion, Kevin De Bruyne could be a really good option. I think he's coming back into form, and I think they have the fixtures now as well. So if you want a long term replacement, I would look at somebody like Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne. Jonathan says Robertson replacement. Jonathan, if I had Robertson, I would possibly keep him. I think Liverpool fixtures are turning, and the swing is really good. They play. Who do they play? Let me check for you. Look here. If I have Robertson, they play Brighton, Wolves, Fulham, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley, and these are amazing fixtures. And when Trent Alexander-Arnold is not there, Robertson might be on free kicks. He might be on corners. So I think I would keep Robertson in my opinion. Zodiac says last year my season the squad value was 98.7 but still ended top 5%. That's fine, that's amazing. I absolutely say, I would not like that kind of a team value because that would hamper me if I was on a wild card, right? But what's my team value currently? Let me look for you guys and let me know. It's 99.7 plus 1.4 in the bank. So it's healthy, right? It's over 101 million. I think it's 101.3, guys. So not the worst team value in the world. So I'm pretty satisfied with that, guys. 101.3, and still focusing on my transfers and my points, not on the team value. So I think it's fine, guys. Devendra says, "Hey Wiz." Hey Devendra, welcome, my friend. Trailer says, "Who is your captain?" I think my captain this game week is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Unless otherwise I decide to go for somebody like differential like Grealish or somebody, I think this game week my captain is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Excuse me. Ahmed says Watkins or Bamford. That's a very difficult one, Ahmed. To be honest with you, I think they are both great options. Looking at the fixtures currently, I would go with Watkins. The reason is I think the ceiling for Watkins is higher than for Bamford. Bamford might get you one goal every game, right? And he might even get you an odd couple of goals. But Watkins, I think he's more explosive, and I think he's playing in a team which is... I feel that Aston Villa currently are a really, really great team. And he's being fed by a player in Grealish who's really confident at the moment, so I'd possibly go with Watkins, but very difficult one to categorically say. Excuse me, guys, I don't know what's wrong with my throat, but Zod says, Caleb says Fernandes and De Bruyne. Yeah, I agree with that. Dan says McCarthy, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Justin, Chilwell, Salah, Son, Barkley, Rodriguez, Wilson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Kane. My plan was to take Trent Alexander-Arnold for Cancelo and Salah to KDB for a hit. That team looks fine to me in my opinion. So Salah to. So if you want, you can go the same route as I'm doing, Danforth. You can keep Trent Alexander-Arnold for one more week. Take 0.1 million hit and just transfer out Salah to Bruno Fernandes if you want. And next week you can easily transfer out Trent Alexander-Arnold for somebody like Castan, or somebody like Cancelo, So yeah, that's my opinion. Devendra says Maguire or Telles. If I had to pick one, I would go for Telles because there is a little bit doubt about Harry Maguire. He had a bruised foot on international duty. I'm not sure if that's going to keep him out, but there was a slight doubt about Harry Maguire with a bruised foot in international duty. So if I had to pick one, I'd go for Telles, definitely. Caleb says Bruno Fernandes or Calvert-Lewin or any Everton player for captain. I don't know, Fulham seems like a better fixture than West Brom. Help me. I agree with you, Caleb. I think out of the two, West Brom are more defensively solid. And if you watch the game against Spurs, the way they played against Spurs, it was fantastic. They never deserved to lose that game. If anything, they actually deserved to win that game. That's how good they were against Tottenham. Unfortunately, if you have a player like Harry Kane in your team, then Spurs always had this chance of scoring the odd goal and winning. But otherwise, West Brom were fantastic against Spurs. And I don't think they're going to be any different against Manchester United. But since they're playing away from home, I think that Manchester United can score a couple of goals against them. I think Fulham have been improving as well a little bit. I think they gave a great game to West Ham United, and they could have had the equalizer had Ademola Lookman not absolutely butchered that penalty that he was taking. So in my opinion, Fulham and West Brom are improving. at the moment, I think West Brom are in better form, and but I think the tendency of Fulham to concede more goals than West Brom is there, and I agree with that. But the thing is, from Everton, who would you captain? Because we're not even sure who's on penalties for Everton, right? So that's one thing that we need to be careful about. Second, the points in Everton are going to be distributed between James Rodriguez, Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and so in my opinion, I think Bruno Fernandes is a better option than the Everton boys, and that's just my opinion. I think you can even consider somebody like Grealish, and I think he's a really good option for this game week as well. So I hope I addressed a lot of questions about this Bruno Fernandes and Everton captaincy, guys. Pura says plan for Salah after bringing in Bruno. Pura, the plan is to bring in Salah as soon as he's fit again. Categorically, if I just do a wildcard next game week, it's gonna be fine, and I can bring in Salah right back. Even if I don't do a wildcard next game week, I think Salah comes in my team as soon as he's fit, because next week I have to have a City player as well. City have amazing fixtures starting next game week. I actually want to show you their fixtures. It is just amazing, the fixtures that they have, and they've got 3 home games out of the next 4, and they're all against the whipping boys: Fulham, West Brom. Okay, Burnley are not the whipping boys, but Manchester City at home against Burnley, Fulham, West Brom. This is amazing fixtures: Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, Brighton, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Sheffield. Come on, guys. Up till game week 22, starting from game week 10, they just have 2 difficult games: United away and Chelsea away. I definitely want to have 2 Manchester City players in my team, possibly one defender and Kevin De Bruyne. I wouldn't go for Sterling, as you already know. If you've been listening to my live streams, you already know I prefer De Bruyne over Sterling, but yeah. So yeah, there you go. Khaleesi says, I still have Saiz. Do you think he will start? Khaleesi, I think he has a good chance to start this game week. Reason being, 8 Nori is currently 50-50. He might be injured, he might not be injured. And then Kilman is not going to start this game week because of his family problems. So I think Saiz has a decent chance to start this game week. Hang on, guys. Let me have a drink of water, please. Caleb says, I'm thinking of doubling up on City with Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling for Son and Rodriguez, but that would mean I can't bring in Salah. I wouldn't double up with Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne, my friend. The reason being, look here, why would you transfer out James Rodriguez against Fulham, Leeds, Burnley? I would keep James Rodriguez for these fixtures. I wish I had him, and I really wish I had him for these fixtures. If I was you, I would keep one Manchester City player out of Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling. I just don't think they offered that much value. Unless Sterling goes berserk in one of these game weeks and scores like 20 points, Sterling hasn't been doing anything to justify his price tag. Neither has been De Bruyne, but I still feel that he has the potential, and De Bruyne is in good form as well. So I think pick one out of Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling and go with that. I just wouldn't go with both of them. Alrighty. Zodiac says, would you say it's stupid to double up on Chelsea defense like Chilwell and Zuma? I don't think it's bad to double up on Chelsea defense. Even I considered about that. I think Reece James and Chilwell are great options to double up. But in my opinion, if you look at the fixtures of Chelsea, let's have a look. Tottenham, possibly they're going to score against Chelsea, right? Leeds can score against anyone. Everton away, Wolves away. These games, I just don't see too many clean sheets for Chelsea. I might be wrong, guys, but I'm just speculating based on the data that we have and the eye test that we do when we watch the games, right? I just do not see Chelsea keeping too many clean sheets here. Newcastle, maybe, possibly. Who knows what's going to happen in this game? Who knows? Alan St. Maxima can go on a crazy run and score a goal from anywhere, right? But, football is unpredictable. We can't just categorically say that this is going to happen and this is not going to happen. But how many clean sheets do you see in these games? I don't see a clean sheet here, neither here, neither here, neither here. I mean, so in my opinion, I wouldn't double up on them. All right. And Jorog says, I'm on a free hit for only game week 9. I'm conflicted on whether to bring in De Bruyne and play 3-5-2 or Werner and play 3-4-3. This game week, I would definitely go for Timo Werner, my friend. Werner plays against Newcastle and De Bruyne plays against Tottenham. That's in my opinion, that's a no-brainer. If De Bruyne goes and scores 15 points against Tottenham, then kudos to him. But on paper and logically, I think Timo Werner is the better option for this game week. Lewis says, between Foden, Robertson, Wilson and Walker-Peters, who do I start with? I can't decide. If I was you, Lewis, I would possibly go with Robertson out of these. The Magician says, Cancelo versus Spurs or Lumpty versus Villa. If I was you, I'd possibly go with Cancelo. I would always go with the player who plays for the better team. Because Villa are currently in a good form. I don't expect Brighton to keep a clean sheet against Villa anyway. So Cancelo can get an attacking return the same way Lamptey can. So in my opinion, Cancelo. Vice says Tarkovsky me masterclass incoming. It could be. Who knows what's going to happen. But I think Burnley, with Ben Mee back in the team, I think Burnley is going to be more solid defensively as they were before, right? And that's possible. Peter says, I think the only City player that has proven his worth so far is Cancelo. Peter, I agree with you and I really want to bring him in, but the only problem is I just don't feel that he's nailed on enough, and you'd never know with Pep. But yeah, if I had the option, I would definitely go for Cancelo. Matea says, hello Wiz. Hey Matea, welcome to the live stream. It's great to see you, my friend. Zod says, got Cancelo, Chilwell, Lamptey, Mitchell. Who would you choose as the last defender? Possibly I would go for Telles if you had the option. I think that's a good option. But looking at the fixtures, I think Alex Telles can be a really good option with Luke Shaw out. I think Telles can be a good option, my friend. And who else? Cresswell, possibly Cresswell or Telles. That would be my options. Tales says, bringing on Son, will it be useful now? In my opinion, if you don't have Son now, Saleh, I don't think these are the game weeks to transfer him in. Unless you are on a wild card, I wouldn't consider that. The Magician says Cancelo or Lamptey this week. Yeah, I already answered that. Sanu says Watkins or Adams. If you're thinking about which one to transfer in, then in my opinion, I'd say Watkins. Because Watkins plays for the better team currently, and the thing is, Southampton with Danny Ings out, there's too much burden on Che Adams, and I'm not sure if he can do it in every game, just the way he did against who was it last game week. He played pretty well, and and I think in my opinion, Watkins has better fixtures than Che Adams as well. I don't know what's wrong with my throat today, guys. I'm so sorry if you can hear my voice break. Alrighty. Hobbit says, should I play Bamford versus Arsenal or Jota versus Leicester? To be honest with you, Howard, if you have that choice, you have a very strong team, my friend. If I was you, I'd play both of them because they're both nailed on and they're definitely gonna start. But if you have a choice and if you only want to play one, then I'd say Jota. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because they both have the potential to score points. But if I was you, I knew Jota is going to start against Leicester. I would possibly go with Jota, but it's very hard to decide, my friend. If you have the option, I'd say go play both of them. The Magician says, best 6 million defender on wildcard. I already have Chilwell. 6 million. I don't think there's any other good 6 million defender, my friend. I'd say uh, or Kyle Walker is a decent option with the Manchester City fixtures coming in. I mean, Kyle Walker is a good option in the sense that he doesn't get rotated. I mean, with Cancelo, you might have this risk that Cancelo can get rotated, and when Mendy comes back or anything like that, Kyle Walker is the one player who doesn't get rotated in the defense. I mean, Pep Guardiola trusts him, so you can go with him. Other than that, I would possibly say Cancelo. You know, you can think about Cresswell, you can think about Alex Telles, and so on. You can even consider Bellerin if you want, and Castan from Leicester. If I had the option below 6 million or close to 6 million, the player I would consider is Castan. He's amazing, and the fixtures in the next 3 game weeks after game week 9 are amazing too. Trailer says, how will you pick your team? The thing is, okay, I'll show you how I'll pick my team, but I haven't made my transfer yet since I'm waiting for the last moment. But I'll show you how I'll pick my team. So this is exactly how I'll pick my team, right? Not exactly my captaincy. So basically, Salah is Bruno Fernandes if I make the transfer. So this is how my team would look like: Martinez, Chilwell, Walker-Peters, Taylor, Bruno Fernandes. If I make the transfer, Bruno Fernandes, Foden, Son, Grealish, Harry Kane, Calvert-Lewin and Shea Adams, Ayling first on the bench, Bissouma and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So pretty much I've had it, I have worked it out, and this is how my team would look like, except that Salah would become Bruno Fernandes, unless over the night I go crazy and I change my decision and I plan to take a hit. This is the move that I currently am thinking about. So Salah is basically Bruno Fernandes if I make the transfer, and he's going to, if I bring in Bruno Fernandes, he's going to be my captain for this game week as well. So this is how my team would look like. Sanu says sell Trent Alexander-Arnold. I would sell him, my friend, but I just don't see any good option to bring in for Trent Alexander-Arnold for a hit this game week. I just do not see any good option. Next game week, there are some fantastic options in Cancelo, Castan. You know, there are wonderful options opening in game week 10 because Leicester have a bit of a fixture swing. Manchester City have a fixture swing. So I'm going to be waiting, and if Trent Alexander-Arnold falls in price, so be it. So be it. Saleh says, bro, wildcard will go away. You must use it now. I feel the double fixture week you can use free hit. Saleh, the plan is to wildcard in around game week 15 and game week 16. The wildcard will go only after game week 16, right? So I have lots of weeks to use my wildcard. Because after the double game week, there's gonna be a blank game week as well, and I possibly gonna use my free hit in the blank game week. So I have a kind of a plan about that, and I hope it works out as well. Khaleesi, oh, you've told me your team. I'll come back to that. Pai says Mope or Lamptey as first sub. Definitely, I'd keep Mope as first sub if you have that choice, my friend. Zod says, why keep Podence after only 59 minutes last week? Zodiac, as I said, I wanted to transfer him out, right? The two players that I wanted to get rid of was Trent Alexander-Arnold and Podence. But the thing is, after this international break, a couple of problems developed, and Salah is positive, Trent is injured, and now Son and Kane both have really difficult fixtures. So it's not the ideal situation, and I would ideally like to use my wildcard, but since there are so many uncertainties about when Salah is going to be back and all these, so I don't want to burn my wildcard while making compromises on my team. So I decided to postpone my wildcard, and I'm going with this team. I mean, Podence has a decent fixture. I mean, he can score against Southampton. I hope so, at least. Some weeks we attack the game week, guys. Some weeks we play for damage limitation. Just remember, guys, we cannot attack every game week. If you want to attack every game week, there is no option but to take hits every game week, and that's high risk, high reward style of playing FPL, and that's not the way I play FPL, guys. Everybody has their own way of playing FPL. Mine is to play for the future, plan for the future, and play kind of a more conservative style of FPL. It's not for everybody, but you know that's how I do it, friends. Alrighty. Raghav says, "Hi bro, Saiz will start this week." Raghav, I think he has a great chance to start this week. Trailer says Zaha or Rodriguez. Before I give you this answer, I'd like to just check the fixtures of Crystal Palace so that I can give you the right answer. So Burnley, Newcastle, and West Brom, right? Burnley, Newcastle, West Brom. Everton have Fulham, Leeds, Burnley. I think they have both similar fixtures. I just think that maybe James Rodriguez has a slightly higher ceiling, especially if he's on penalties, right? And I think James Rodriguez has more ways of getting points than Zaha. I think Zaha is more one-dimensional, so I think they're both same. If I had the option, I'd go for Rodriguez. If I had the option. Lewis Martin says I'd pick Zaha. Of course, you know that's the thing, guys. It's very close, right? Everybody have their own opinions. Everybody have their own kind of instinct, you know. So obviously, we have to go with our instinct sometimes in this game. Sometimes two players are so close together that it's very hard to make a decision between them logically. So yeah. And Joseph says Rashford or Bruno only for this game week. Definitely Bruno Fernandes, my friend. Pick the player who's on penalties. That's for me the deal breaker always. Brought Bruno in, I'll bring Salah back for game week 12. Morgan, that's fine, my friend. I think that's a decent strategy, right? Liverpool have great fixtures, and if Salah is fit, then we should bring him in. No doubts about that. Matt says, what do you think about Kane to Richarlison for the next 3? Would be doubling up with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. To be honest with you, I mean that's not a bad move. But I would suggest you, Matt, there can be another decent move as well. You could actually keep Kane for game week 9 and in game week 10, transfer out Kane for Vardy. The reason I say why you should move for Vardy is because if you look at the fixtures of Leicester, the next 3, Fulham at home, Sheffield United away, Brighton at home. So basically Kane has difficult fixtures here and you can navigate them easily by getting Jamie Vardy for Fulham, Sheffield and Brighton, and then if you want you can get back Kane as well. So that's also a decent strategy. If you don't want to double up on the Everton strikers, you can go with this strategy. Echet says thoughts on this team after a wildcard. There's Martinez, Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno, Grealish, Bissouma. Bro, where are your defenders? I don't see any defenders. That's a great team, but KDB, Bruno, Grealish. So basically, you have 3 good midfielders. You don't have a 4th midfielder. I don't think that's the best strategy in my opinion. But you know, each to his own, guys. As I said, there's no one way of playing FPL. Kane, Vardy, Wilson. In my opinion, I'd drop Kane and get Watkins and get one better midfielder. I think there are too many good budget forwards in this game for you to go with 2 premium forwards. Go with 1 premium forward. Go with 2 budget forwards and get 1 good midfielder. That gives you more flexibility about how to play this game and you can rotate your team. So if I was on wildcard, that's what I would do, my friend. Shrikant says, is Sterling better captain for this week? Shrikant, I'm not so sure. Hang on, guys. What is Sterling's record against Tottenham? Does anybody know? Has anybody checked? If you haven't, worry not. I'm gonna look into my magic ball, guys. Just give me a second and I'll look into my magic ball and I'll tell you the record of Raheem Sterling against Tottenham. I know that he has a good record against Tottenham. I just want to check it. So Raheem Sterling, guys, has in 14 fixtures, in 14 appearances, he has 6 goals and 3 assists against them. So not the best record, but not the worst. So if you want, you can go with Sterling. If I was you, I wouldn't go unless if you don't have Bruno Fernandes, if you don't want to captain Grealish. If you want, you can go with Sterling. Of course, Sterling is a good player, but against Tottenham, I just want to do it. So record of Sterling in my magic ball, it says in 14 games he's got 6 goals and 3 assists against Spurs. Alrighty. Trailer says, according to Salah's information on FPL, he's expected to be back next game week. I mean, that's just a speculation, Trailers. We won't know when he's going to be back until he tests negative for coronavirus. Matt says, yes, Vardy is a good shout. Can't stay for the rest of the stream, but thank you for the advice. You're welcome, my friend. Before you leave a like. Dan says, when are you doing a face reveal? Dan, I'm not sure when it would be possible for me to do a face reveal, but let's see what we can plan for the upcoming season, maybe 2021-22. Who knows if there's gonna be a face reveal at all. So yeah. Peter says, I think KDB and Sterling has been doing nothing to impress me, but their fixtures are amazing. This season has been so much more about form than others. It's so hard to want them. I agree with you, Peter. The thing is, Kevin De Bruyne is coming into good form, and with their fixtures, I think they have to start scoring some goals, and these are the fixtures. I mean, who better to score against than Fulham at home, West Brom at home, or Brighton at home? These are the teams. So I think City's form is going to turn, especially with their fixtures. Caleb says, so nobody plays 3-5-2 apart from me. I feel lonely. I think that's a fantastic formation, Caleb. The reason why everybody or most people are playing 3-4-3 this season is because there is so much value in the forwards. Watkins, Bamford, Callum Wilson, even when Mikel Antonio comes back, then Mikel Antonio as well. I mean, there's so much value there. That's the reason people are preferring to go with 3-4-3. Otherwise, I think 3-5-2 is a fantastic formation. The reason it is just too static, in my opinion. Again. So yeah, Landon says, "Damn, you need to wildcard." Yeah, I'm gonna wildcard. Hopefully, if my team doesn't look well in game week 10. I have no problems with wildcarding. I wanted to wildcard this week as well, guys. I've been considering it over the international break. I was thinking about wildcarding. The problem is there were too many uncertainties, and when you have to wildcard, you don't want uncertainties with your team. I mean, you can understand, right? I mean, if you have uncertainties, which player to bring in, whether he's going to be fit, whether he has COVID, it's better not to wildcard. This game week for me is about damage limitation. As I always say, guys, you cannot attack the 38 game weeks. Some game weeks you attack, some game weeks you defend, right? Okay, let's think about FPL as a game, of Manchester City versus some team, or maybe Liverpool versus some team. I mean, they cannot attack for 90 minutes, they have to defend sometimes. So even the best teams in the league have to defend sometimes. They have 70%, 30% possession. Maybe they attack for 70% of the time and they defend for 30% of the time. So, FPL is same. You cannot attack every game week. You just, you look for the opportunities to attack, and you look for the time when you have to defend as well. So FPL is a little bit about that. So yeah, this game week, I'm already saying that I already know that this game week is about damage limitation for me, but I'm happy with that. It's fine about that. Caleb says, I'm kind of hoping that City thrash Spurs, so I feel more comfortable bringing in Kevin De Bruyne. True. Agree with that. Zod says, Caleb, Nathan Bacon on YouTube is playing 3-5-2 on his wildcard this week. I mean, if you guys listen to the FPL Wire podcast, Zoff is doing a wildcard as well so far. So you can look for that as well. Zoffar is a very experienced FPL manager. Nathan Bacon, of course, he's a fellow YouTuber. He's doing a wildcard, so you can definitely go check them out, guys. And you need all the information you can get. So go check them out and see if you find any good drafts that you want. Morgan says, but the vast majority are dealing with setbacks this week, so maybe going aggressively this week is a good time, while everybody else is playing it safe. Morgan, you're right. But long term, the problem is if I wanna go for a player long term. For example, I think Castan is a good pick, but not for game week 9. but starting game week 10, I think Castan is a fantastic pick. So if I take a hit and bring in Castan this week, I play aggressively, but it doesn't serve me well. So, sometimes you have to plan for the future and do damage limitation. Other time, you just go and attack, right? So, it depends on your style of play as well a little bit. Everybody has different temperaments and the different way to basically play the game. FPL Juggernaut says, I'm getting in James Rodriguez for Son and Ben Salah. Your views? I think that's fine, my friend. If if you have a good team and if you can field a good team. So who are you going to captain, Jug? If you gonna basically bench Salah, if you have a decent captaincy option, then I think that's fine. Suleiman says, why aren't you answering Salah to KDB? I'm sorry I missed your question, my friend. I'm just trying to answer some of the previous questions. Anyways, Salah to KDB this game week, not for me. Game week 10, possibly, Suleiman. So, if I had to do this transfer, then that would be in game week 10, not in game week 9. Morgan says, would you consider Son to Ziyech? I wish I could get Hakim Ziyech. I think he's a fantastic player. Even in Fantasy Premier League, I think Hakim Ziyech is a fantastic option, and I really wish I could get him in my team, and I would have got him in my team if I didn't have other problems. This international break has just propped up at the wrong time and brought lots of problems for my team. Otherwise, with a couple of hits, I would have Hakim Ziyech in my team, and I would be sitting pretty with no Podence, with Hakim Ziyech in my team. Bruno Fernandes, ideally Podence and Son to Bruno Fernandes and Hakim Ziyech, and my team looks amazing for game week 9 as well. So, sometimes you just have to kind of adapt what happens in the game. Trailer says, James or Dominic Calvert-Lewin for captain. I mean, if you want to, my friend. The thing is, Dominic Calvert-Lewin hasn't blanked in any game week but one, right? So he's slowly taking over. He's not giving you massive points every game week, but I think he's a safe captaincy option against Fulham if you want to go for him, But the way I'm playing this game this season, I want to go for the best possible captaincy option for that particular game week. So I think it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. Nick says, Manchester City have a very good fixtures coming up. Surely De Bruyne could replace Salah. Absolutely could, Nick. I say that he could, but the thing is, not this game week. Why would somebody transfer out Salah to get Kevin De Bruyne against Spurs? I mean, logically, it doesn't seem to be the right choice for this game week. That's the only thing I'm saying. I am not against Kevin De Bruyne. I love him as a player. I love him as an FPL asset. I would love him in my team, but I just don't think that this game week is the best time to get him in. But if you want to be without Salah and you want De Bruyne for the long term, then possibly you can do it. So it's about your priorities, guys. It's about your long-term plan. It's not only about this game week. It's about your long-term planning, whether you want Salah back in your team, whether you want De Bruyne in your team for the long term. So you decide your priorities and then you make your decisions, my friends. Morgan says, I love Chilwell captain choice. Clean sheet plus potential attacking return. Didn't think of that. Very clever. I think Chilwell is captaining a defender is always very, very risky, and if it pays off, then hats off to anybody who does that. For me, I think this game week, for me, Bruno Fernandes, maybe Jack Grealish or Timo Werner. These are the players that seem to be decent choices for captaincy. But guys, each to his own. As I say, there's no one right way to play this game. There are like different styles of players. I mean, last season, guys, Joshua, who won FPL, and this other player who actually won it but didn't win it because of some problems, they both had absolutely different styles, and still, the one came first and the other one came second. I mean, they were the top players in FPL last season, and they had absolutely contrasting styles to play this game. So there's no one good way to play it. Nick says De Bruyne is for the long run. I'm taking Salah out this week and bringing him back when he's fit. Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that. Morgan says, but you have Chilwell vice captain. Oh, that's I have him as vice captain, but um, damn, I. The thing is, I'm not going to. I'm not going to have to move on to my vice captain because I'm going to captain Bruno Fernandes. Unfortunately, I think you missed the first part, Morgan, in which I said that I'm going to be possibly transferring out Salah for Bruno Fernandes. So if Fernandes plays, then Chilwell is possibly just as a buffer because I'm pretty sure that Bruno Fernandes is going to start. That the reason I put vice captain on Chilwell is just for fun, because in my opinion Bruno Fernandes is going to play and there's no chance that he misses the game anyway. So vice captain this game week is probably redundant if you're captaining Bruno Fernandes. Beer Current says got Bruno for Salah. That's a good move, my friend, and that is possibly the same move that I'm planning to move, unless overnight I have some kind of a brainwave or I make a change to my decision. This is this is where I'm currently at with my team. Nick says Kane to Antonio next week, possibly for the extra money. Nick, in my opinion, next week I'd possibly, if I have to transfer out Kane, if they don't do well against City, if he doesn't score any points, then it would be for Jamie Vardy. Definitely, I love the look of the fixtures of Leicester, and with Madison coming back, Kestan coming back, I think Vardy is a fantastic option for the next 3 or 4 game weeks, starting from game week 10. Morgan says massive upsets if Bruno blanks. Well, Morgan, this this is football, right? There is nothing which can be said with absolute certainty. But in my opinion, we go for the best options. We look at the stats, we go for the best options, and then it's all on the game and on our luck. This game involves a degree of luck as well, and we go for the best captaincy option. That's all we can do, right? So that's my opinion, at least, right? So yeah, hang on. I think in my last stream I showed you that from the starting game week 1 this season, I have been going for I've been going for the safe captaincy picks, and they've been paying off for me. Even if they give me like 12 points in a game week, it's still better than having a captain blank. So yeah. So on to Bruno this week, says Raghav. I mean, that was the original plan, my friend, but unfortunately Salah is down with COVID, and then I think I have possibly to move out Salah for Bruno Fernandes. But if Salah was fit and fine, then Son would have gone for Bruno Fernandes for me. My team, I already have 1.4 million in the bank, and easily I could have moved out Son to Bruno Fernandes. But with this COVID situation happening, possibly I have to move out Salah. If you could have any budget striker, who are you picking? I'd go for Ollie Watkins at this moment in time, my friend. I mean, I like the look of Bamford, Ollie Watkins a lot. I think if I wildcard, I could possibly have both of them in my team, because Bamford is a long-term option. Ollie Watkins for the next 5-6 game weeks is a fantastic option as well. Aston Villa playing well, Grealish playing behind him, feeding him through balls and chances to score the goal. What's not to like about Ollie Watkins and Grealish and Bamford? I think they're fantastic options, both of them. So, but for my team, for this game week, unfortunately, as I keep saying, guys, unfortunately, I have to make do with these transfers, possibly transferring out Salah for Bruno Fernandes. But I'm gonna think about my team a little bit more, and I hope I can come up with a better plan. But for now, I'm thinking that I transfer in Bruno for Salah and I captain Bruno. Morgan says I'm sitting on 6 million in the bank. That's way too much money to keep in the bank, Morgan. You should invest some. Invest some. With this COVID crisis, banks are having very, very low interest rates. It's better to invest the money where you can make some profit. I'm just kidding, guys. But yeah, that's the logic. So guys, I hope I managed to answer all your questions. But before we can end the stream, I would like to show you my fitness updates slide once again for all those who joined late, so you can actually have a look, read the updates, and if you found the stream helpful, guys, I really hope you did. Then please consider liking and subscribing as well. Caleb says, "Sheesh, if I bring in Fernandez, I will be sitting on 4.2 million." Morgan says, "I was so confused there." Yeah, I was. I have this tendency to make kind of references to outside world as well, the world that we actually live in, isn't it? But yeah, these are the fitness updates, guys. If you joined the stream late and if you didn't have the chance to see, you can possibly have a read, have a look, and possibly take a screenshot. I did all my research, and I got this information kind of collected for all of you to see. And if you like this, then we can possibly make it a thing for every time I stream close to the deadline. I can make such tables, and I can show you about the summary of all the fitness updates as well. So you let me know, and we can think about it. Tammy's Tammy Abraham, potential differential if he keeps his spot. I think Tammy Abraham has no reason not to keep his spot, especially with Kai Havertz and Pulisic not playing. But is he a long-term option? Not so sure. Differential? Possibly yes. Fagiolo says people just for game week 9, Zaha versus Burnley away or Mane versus Leicester home. Fagiolo, in my opinion, Mane. Any day, I think Mane was in great form, generally is in great form. And although his returns are not the best when Salah doesn't play, but I still feel that over Zaha, I would pick Mane. FPL Juggernaut says this fitness update slide is great. With all right, Jug, I'll try to include it in most of my streams, depending upon whether I have the time to collect this information. Because I don't want to give you personal information or wrong information, so it takes a while to compile these slides. But if I have time, I try to include them in most of my upcoming streams as well. So guys, if you have any suggestions for the stream and if you have any questions, let me know. Then I think we can. We've been streaming for over 1 hour now, so we can possibly wrap up the stream. And tomorrow, guys, I'll be with you again for the deadline stream. So not long to go anyway. Fagiolo says Tammy will keep his spot until Pulisic is back. But Fagiolo, that is the thing. Like Pulisic is going to be back in 2 weeks. So do we risk Tammy Abraham? I'm not so sure. Morgan says I'll miss Salah against Brighton and Wolves. Hopefully Bruno does well in the next three. I think Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic option and a good option in his own right. Salah is the king, of course, but I think Bruno Fernandes is a great FPL option in his own right as well. Nick says, why not switch Kane for Vardy this week? Do you think he has a better chance against Liverpool than Kane does against City? Now that's true, my friend, but the thing is, do I swap him out for a hit? That is the question. Because I don't want to take a hit for a player who I'm not sure is going to score. And for all of you who think that Liverpool defense is going to be substantially weakened against Leicester, in my opinion, Fabinho is going to be fit, Joel Matip is going to be fit, and Robertson is obviously fit because he played in the international game. So except Nico Williams, they're going to have experienced players in defense, and their midfield isn't gonna be bad either. They're gonna have Wijnaldum and you know possibly Thiago's gonna be back or not. But in my opinion, the team's gonna look much better than you think it's going to. So in my opinion, Liverpool is gonna be back. So see if Thiago is back, right? Uh, then if Thiago is back, I'm not sure if he's going to play in game week 9, but if he is back, I'm saying then Liverpool have a good team. Fabinho and Joel Matip are good central defenders. They can easily do well in that game because so let's not expect Liverpool to field 4 kids against Leicester. That's not gonna happen, guys. Yeah, and Five says you forget James Milner. Absolutely. I mean, James Milner can play in midfield, he can play in right back. So, guys, just do not expect Liverpool to kind of just give the game to Leicester. Not gonna happen. Yeah, that was a funny one, Father Milner. Fagiolo, I already answered your question. Zaha or Mane for game week 9? In my opinion, I'd pick Mane. In my opinion, that's a no-brainer for me. I think Mane is a better player. HH, I already answered your question, my friend. I think I already answered your question. Don't know if you didn't hear my answer, but I already answered it. Nick says City have a very strong defense. That's true. That's true. I agree with that. But it's not about keeping Kane and Son. I'm not interested in keeping Kane and Son, Nick. But the problem is I have other problems, right, in my team. Trent Alexander-Arnold is injured, out for 2 weeks. Salah is out for possibly 2 weeks, maybe 1 week. Who knows? There's these are players who are not even going to play. So, I need to field 11 good players and hope for the best. That's sometimes you have to do. This game week, I'm not attacking the weak, I'm just hoping for damage limitation. Baguiola says Spurs have great attack potential. Hopefully, guys. Hopefully, Kane can nab a goal. Kane can score a goal against anyone. Although he doesn't have a good record against Manchester City, I think he has 2 goals against them in all the games he's faced them. But it's football, guys. Anything can happen, and sometimes you need to adapt. We cannot go out taking hits every week, and this international break was a really pain for all the FPL managers. FPL Juggernaut says, will Milner take penalties? Of course he will. If Milner is on the pitch and Salah is not, then Milner is going to take the penalties. So yeah. Faiz says, are you a Juice World fan? Faiz, I like all types of beats. I like Roddy Rich, and I like Gunner style beats, and I like Juice World as well. So yeah, I like beats in general. I use them for my football videos as well, and I use them for the intro in this video as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the stream tonight. It was basically getting back into the swing of things. FPL is coming back soon, and not soon, tomorrow. So I hope you'll all join me again tomorrow to see my final team in the deadline stream. I'm going to be streaming 1 hour before the deadline. So I hope you join me in my deadline stream. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. If you want to join our Discord community, the link is in the description. So I'll see you very soon in my deadline stream, guys. And if you like my beat, if you like the intro music, I'm going to play it again so you can have fun. And I'll catch you tomorrow for my deadline stream, guys. Till then, stay safe. FPL Wizard signing out. Bye bye. And here, enjoy the music.